right, everybody, welcome back to the Thunder Dan Show, baby. I'm your man, Thunder Dan. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But we got all types of stuff popping off today. I guess the judge in Illinois now decided that Trump cannot be on a ballot, so they're going to kick him off the ballot. The Supreme Court is going to take up the Trump case for the New York Jack Smith, seeing if he has presidential immunity, which I don't see why presidents wouldn't have immunity because they deal with all types of stuff overseas and all that stuff. So none of it makes a lot of sense out here. Of course, Hunter Biden was up on Capitol Hill. And then the downplaying of the migrant crisis is very upsetting. I don't understand how any of these people can be out here and not understand the consequences of the illegal immigrants. And they're trying to downplay like they don't cause no crime or nothing. But you see it, especially when the New York cops got beat up. The Lincoln Riley, she just got murdered, basically. So, I mean, there's all types of stuff going on. In Virginia, they had a case with migrants doing stuff. So it's not safe. And we got to step up. And then even the mayors around here that call for sanctuary cities, saying they're not sanctuary cities. Same with Adams in New York, talking about, New York's going to do this and do that. But at the end of the day, we have to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a jungle out there. And if we don't protect ourselves, I mean, you can see right now the police, the government is not going to protect you. They're more worried about sending money over to Ukraine and stuff like that. Same thing with that Navalny guy. I don't know. How do I know that the CIA didn't want to kill Navalny to get stuff going because Speaker Johnson killed the bill earlier and they just want to rile up Americans? This is the type of stuff that goes on. The propaganda is everywhere. The Mockingbird media is everywhere. They've been infiltrated. You can look at Mr. Vanderbilt himself, Anderson Cooper. I mean, some people say that he's a product of information that's not real. His daddy was real rich, Vanderbilt. They built all the railroads in the United States. They're huge. Big money. They're up there with the Rothschilds. So I don't want to get too involved in none of that, but I thought it was crazy that even the mayor, but let's get into the Supreme Court has decided to take up the case for Trump on his presidential immunity. A lot of his cases have to do with that, except for a couple in New York. Jack Smith's trying to prosecute him. The whole New York case never made no sense at all. We all know that. It was based on Mar-a-Lago was this price. It wasn't that price, and now Trump has to pay $464 million. He's under appeal. He had to put up a bond. He has to put up like 10% of that. It's just computer. It's nonsense. I don't understand why we're going to put up with this. But hey, this is what we're living. We're winning. We're winning with the Supreme Court decision. We're definitely winning. So let's play this right now. This should definitely help us out. Because the Supreme Court will probably rule. I mean, for the most part, most of them are good. I don't know. You got the new one on there, Keonji Johnson and all that. And you got Alto, though, that are very left. But at the end of the day, it should probably take over. So let's just pull up this special report. They can explain it a little bit better than the Rock and Roll Rebel show can, because,
Look at this dumb motherfucker.
But let's play this right here. This is a special report.
Reporting, David Muir.
Good evening. We're coming on the air a little bit earlier tonight because there is breaking news involving former President Donald Trump. The Supreme Court just a short time ago saying it will take up former President Trump's appeal of a unanimous lower court decision that had rejected Trump's claims of sweeping presidential immunity in the face of this special counsel federal case that is impending. Again, the Supreme Court says it will take this up after the Court of Appeals said that Donald Trump did not have sweeping immunity. The Supreme Court agreeing to take a look at this issue. I want to bring in Devin Dwyer, who covers the court. Devin, obviously this is significant. A lot of observers had wondered whether or not it would simply stay the decision of the lower court. The Supreme Court late today saying we will look at it ourselves.
This will put the justices, David, right at the center of one of the most contentious debates this country is having right now over President Donald Trump's conduct after the 2020 election to invalidate those results. The justices just a few minutes ago saying that they will not only hear arguments, they will issue an opinion on a major historical question, and that is whether, and if so, to what extent does a former president enjoy full immunity from criminal prosecution for his duties? It's never been answered before, and it will have enormous stakes on the country, David.
So, Devin, the Supreme Court says it will issue an opinion here on immunity moving forward. In the short term, this is some will look at this as a victory because it simply delays this federal trial a bit longer. But had the Supreme Court said they would not take it up, Donald Trump could have tried to, extend the timeline at the lower court level.
That's right. But in a simple sense, this is a win for Donald Trump. There's no question that this delays this federal election interference trial sometime until the later end of the year, maybe even not even before the election, perhaps. And it is a blow to Special Counsel Jack Smith, who wanted to get this underway as soon as possible before voters go to the polls in November. So this is a delay and a win for President Trump, but it may not be the final word just yet, David. The Supreme Court is signaling it's ready to act fast. And that April argument will certainly set a quick timetable for a decision.
Okay. So how soon could we see a decision here, Devin?
The Supreme Court didn't say in their order. Certainly their term ends by the end of June, so we would expect to see it by then at the latest. But even that, David, will push a trial right up against the election. So expect to see the Trump team with giving a very forceful argument that is way too close to a presidential election to even have a trial. So a lot of unanswered questions from this big decision by the Supreme Court. But they are saying today they want to get into it.
Yeah, so we went in, baby. That's a big win, but I'm more worried about Trump's financials in New York with that 464 and all that. They're doing him dirty there. So, I mean, it's all being dirty. And it's the same thing. Joe Biden went to Walter Reed today to get a checkup, and this doctor's saying he's in peak condition and all this stuff. Didn't want to give him a cognitive test. So, I mean, what the hell's going on? They're trying to say he didn't need it. I mean, we can see with our eyes and our ears that Joe Biden definitely needs a test. But that's the whole thing with the Mockingbird media. They're going to just lie. We're not going to lie here because we see it. I mean, I can show you countless videos of them lying. When they lied about the whole Russia collusion, and that was all came from Ukraine. They're all covering up Ukraine. They want to have Ukraine money for some strange reason. I guess they want to send all their money over there so we can get money back. They send the money back here, send it there, send it back here. Same thing what Hunter Biden was doing on Capitol Hill. And they trying to say that it wasn't shady, but let's get out to here because I like this. This is the Athens mayor where Laken Riley was. She was a student, of course. She was a nursing student, and she got killed by an illegal immigrant. And the mayor got called out today. This is what you have to do. We got to call out the nonsense. And if you do not call them out, they're just going to keep on doing it. So this guy now is probably thinking a different tune. I'll play what happened. And this is what has to happen. We got to call it out. If we don't call it out, then we're just, you know what I'm saying? It's just none of this makes sense.
City doesn't track with either of those. And so that term means different things to different people depending on the context of the discussion.
We know what it means.
Many of the elements.
Liar.
Many of the elements.
Liar. Liar.
We are here to listen.
Liar. You're a liar.
We are here to listen.
Liar.
There'll be time for questions.
You are guilty and got blood on your hands for this murder, sir.
Many of the aspects that are ascribed to sanctuary cities
We know what sanctuary
are
city
things
means.
that are disallowed by Georgia law.
Sanctuary policy, which is what we do.
And we contribute a document every year to the Georgia Department of Audits indicating that we do not correspond to these definitions under state law.
Yes, you do.
And no policies have been adopted by the
Please
mayor and
stop lying.
commission
You're
that have
insulting
created
our
sanctuary
integrity.
city status in
Sir,
Athens.
You need to resign.
One protocol that sometimes arises.
Resign!
Resign now!
You allowed
One protocol.
this to happen, sir.
One protocol that
You
sometimes
voted for
arises
this.
is the approach that sheriff's offices and city doesn't
Got to call him out. And that was a father in the background. And there's other video where you can see that father in there. He was on a talk show today, too. But this is what I'm talking about. You got to call them out. Can't be, I don't know, people that live in sanctuary cities, let me know. Leave something in the comments how bad it's getting out there. I know they're getting bad. I've seen a couple of them. Where I used to live in Virginia, I know Fairfax County was now a sanctuary city, Alexandria County, all the ones outside the District of Columbia. So, I mean, they're all coming. They're all coming. You can go online and see where all the sanctuary cities are. That's where they're sending all the migrants. And it's all hell baskets. It's all hell baskets, man. I mean, God bless all the people that live in those sanctuary cities. I mean, one day they're going to wake up and realize what they voted for. I get it. You're about fun, peace, and love. You feel like you're at Woodstock or something, but you hippies are going to wake up the wrong way, and you're not going to like it. And same thing now with Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was on Capitol Hill testifying behind closed doors. I don't know why they got to do it behind closed doors. They want to try to discredit the FBI informant, Smirnoff and all that, but the laptop's real. They got a thing where the CIA or the Chinese arrested some CIA official over there on Hunter's laptop where he gave a text message out. So, I mean, it's all, and then you got that naked lady that's out there fighting. So it's all wild out there. And, you know, Joe Biden's too busy getting ice creams and stuff. So at the end of the day, I mean, America's winning. We just got to get it back to normal. We got to get the streets cleaned up. You get the streets cleaned up, everything's going to be better. That's the only thing I can think of. Because other than that, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, we're wasting a lot of taxpayers' dollars and stuff like that. And you got to redo the educational system. But and you got to get rid of this woke stuff. I think this woke stuff was like a virus. Like Mark Cuban's coming out talking about how he can't go on X or Twitter no more because it's a pile of poopy. And then AOC's out here trying to defend stuff, you know. So I don't know, but you got this right here. This is the Hunter Biden text message. And if it says, "You're right, Haley, and I find myself because I've chosen to alienate all my friends and family, blah, blah, blah." But it says, China, by the U.S. government, the retaliation of the Chinese and the ouster and arrest of a U.S. suspected CIA operative inside China. My suspected involvement brokering a deal with Vladimir Putin directly for the largest sale of oil, gas, and assets inside Russia to China, a tax bill that Eric left hanging over my business, and my dad's running for president. That means a lot. That means something. I don't know what the hell that means, but I don't have no way to investigate that. But I know that I'm damn sure the United States government does. So we let that sit there. And then, of course, like I said, Hunter Biden was on TV, you know, after his trial. Well, I mean, his lawyers came out saying there's a bunch of new. They wanted to do the whole Smirnoff is fake. The laptop is real. The 51 intelligence officers lied to us. The suppression of the laptop in October for the 2020 election. So they're taking an active role into lying. Guess that's what the government's going to do. The government's going to government, I guess. And then our government's probably, I know there's got to be good people there. I know some of them. They're good people. But I don't know. I guess it's the higher up. The higher you get up into those buildings, I guess you somehow they only pick what they want. And then it's going to trickle down somehow. And you're like, I just want to keep my job and do stuff. So, but let's get out here to the whole Trump too. $464 million he owes. I guess the appeal was coming up, but I guess they wouldn't grant him no appeal. I guess Eric and Don Jr. are in charge of the Trump organization for right now, but they're trying to say that he couldn't hold off the money and he was going to put up $100 million, but they said no. So I guess Trump's going to somehow have to put up all that $464 million or they're going to start seizing businesses. Doesn't make no sense. Let's hear what they got to say here. See if we can clarify any of this.
Judge Anil Singh has just responded and issued a ruling in response to Donald Trump's $100 million bond offer in New York. It's a story we were talking about just a minute ago with MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin, who is now back with us. So I did a quick cursory glance of this, and Tell me, has he sided with Donald Trump?
Yes and no. I think largely he has sided with the Attorney General's office because what Donald Trump really wanted to have stayed here, Katie, was enforcement of the money judgment, that $464 million award, which represents the disgorgement amounts from Judge Engoron's order plus interest. That has not been stayed by Judge Anil Singh. What he did agree to stay were a couple of other provisions, and excuse me for looking at my phone, which is where I have it right now. He said essentially that there won't be any bar on them serving as officers or directors. That means that Eric and Don Jr. can stay in charge of the Trump Organization for now.
During the appeal.
During the appeal.
So I don't know where the appeal is going to be. That judge is probably, I mean, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. They're throwing everything they can at Trump. I mean, the last result might be a Kennedy type thing. I don't know. I don't know how scared they are of Trump. And if Trump's going to do what we want him to do, you know what I'm saying? Revenge or success is the best revenge. So, but let's get back onto that Hunter thing, because I just wanted to play that real quick. But here's Matt Gaetz out here. Matt Gaetz is going to break it down. God bless Matt Gaetz. He's one of the few out there that are really doing it, really trying to bring back America, really fighting for it. And we need more. We need more Matt Gaetz. That's the only thing I can say. We need more of these people. So if you're into saving America, make sure you like and sub up here, because that's what we do. America first. Run for politics. I was going to try to run for politics in Stafford, Virginia, but sat down with the guy. He's like, it's going to change your whole life. I was like, whoa, pump my brakes. Pump my brakes. I don't need all that. Don't need all that.
I'd say that there were a number of interesting moments, but perhaps none more interesting than when Hunter Biden told us that he joined the Burisma board to counter Russian aggression. I hadn't heard that one before. That thank goodness we had Hunter Biden on the Burisma board because that was central to his strategy to stand up to Vladimir Putin.
Has he taken the fifth at all?
No, he's been responsive to questions.
Has he told you exactly what value he brought to any of these wars, any of these companies yet? Have you guys asked him that?
Yeah, we've asked those questions, and there is an illusory value. It is a mirage to believe that Hunter Biden was engaged in international business. This was a bribe masquerading as an international business transaction. Nothing more, nothing less.
Can we just quickly ask you?
Do you still feel the impeachment inquiry is heading in a direction where you'll actually be able to vote on articles of impeachment?
Well, here we're asking questions about these corrupt business practices. I'm not really framing that through the lens of next steps. I'm just trying to get the facts.
Biden wrote that he joined the board to support Russia in his book. Why don't
I have to say I thought it was a pretty strange statement. Either.
What's that dude doing in the background? He begging for money? Where's he at, on the Metro? Must be on the Metro, bro. You better get some police out there. Clean that up, bro. Clean that up. But that's what we do around here, baby. That's what we do around here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and sub up, baby. Like and sub up. We spreading the word out there. We're spreading the word. It's peace and love. God bless you all. And we're going to get to the bottom of this truth. I promise you. That's our mission here. We got November coming up. And as you saw, Donald Trump crushed in Michigan. He got more votes than Joe Biden and the undecided did. So we're a real movement. Make America great, baby. Make America great. And I will see you all mañana, baby.